Welcome to Take Care, a podcast exploring the heart of hospitality. In each episode, we'll uncover how authentic care creates meaningful connections that transform service. We'll talk with industry leaders about the interconnected circle of hospitality, how caring for ourselves enables us to care for our teams, who then deliver exceptional experiences for our guests. Take care, because exceptional hospitality starts from within.
Another thing I think is really interesting about a career in hospitality is you get direct feedback early and often. So if you're working in a hotel, you don't have time to say, hang on just a minute and go figure it out somewhere else or talk to lots of other people to get their opinion. You got to make a decision. And that causes quick learning. That can cause quick learning. Because you get feedback more often. And I think because of that, you've got these opportunities to build skills that oftentimes take much longer if you're further removed from the results of the work that you're doing. Because that cycle is shorter and the accountability is clear, things can move quickly. You've got examples of people like Phil Cordell, who was the global head of Hampton Inn a while back, that started as a Hampton general manager. And then he's head of one of the largest brands that's ever existed in the hotel space. So many stories of hospitality executives are starting at the front desk or starting in hotel operations. And I think that's amazing, right? It's one of the few industries where you can really put the work in and continue to grow your skills and step into new opportunities because you're solving new problems. You build those skills, you stick your neck out and go solve something else. And that opportunity is given to you because you've got this experience from the front line. You've got a depth that comes with your expertise that is much more meaningful oftentimes than if you've just looked at numbers on a spreadsheet. I think about the different roles in the hospitality industry. You've got housekeeping, you've got a front office manager, your front desk, receptionist, reservations team, you've got operations, you've got groundskeeping, you've got a general manager, an assistant general manager, a director of sales, an assistant director, salespeople. Oftentimes you have a sales coordinator, somebody that handles inputting all of the room blocks and the groups and all of this as a group administrator. You've got all the food and beverage team members that are part of that. Outside of the hotel, then you've got these oftentimes area level people that support. Then you've got all of the people that work at the brand of the franchise that is on your hotel name. And that can include people that are in what's called like brand support or owner support. Then you've got revenue management, a revenue manager, a revenue analyst, a director of revenue management. Sometimes people will have a director of rooms. You've got marketing roles like digital marketing and running all of the paid media and optimizing the performance of ads and OTAs. You've got someone that is a distribution manager. I think because the hotel industry is evolving so quickly and also growing, it means there's so much opportunity if you build the right skills. And a lot of times you may find job descriptions that have specific requirements of knowing a certain system or knowing a certain brand. And I want to propose that's less important. I think it's most important that you learn the underlying skills and that you understand the concepts and the principles and the theory, because then any application that you start to use will make sense. And so on this podcast, we're going to be talking about the different skills associated with all of the different jobs within the hotel space and what's required to grow your career and build those skills as you go. Hopefully it's an invitation to challenge yourself a bit and engage a bit more. The other thing that I love about it is anytime that I start to feel frustrated about something, I also realize, okay, that means this is a learning opportunity, right? Maybe I have room to grow here. Maybe I have something to learn. And that's the stuff that we'll be talking about very specifically with different people in the industry. I will talk to real people doing real jobs and not the polished kind of PR version of any job. But let's really get into the specifics of what you do and how you do it and dig into that with people that are notably great about specific skills or virtues or competencies that hopefully we can all learn from. Aside from digging into the specific skills of each role, I think there's a lot of traits that we'll also be unpacking. And I'll just give you some examples. We'll talk through communication, attention to detail, what goes into great customer service, how to be a helpful part of a team, how to stay flexible, adaptable, how to think about leadership and frameworks for effective leadership, how to build resilience. How do you make a decision when there's 10 things coming at you all at once? How do you build the muscles of creativity even when you've got the day-to-day work still happening? Critical thinking, patience, professionalism, positivity, empathy, negotiation, conflict management, measuring metrics, efficiency, tenacity, curiosity. We'll talk about time management, and not only time management, but how do you also manage your energy? Because I think those are two very different things. We'll talk about self-awareness, how to build motivation and garner enthusiasm around something. And we'll talk about how to build rapport with your teammates and build trust and camaraderie. These are all things that I think are hard to put into like a manual or an SOP. But when you dig into them, you can find these underlying principles that will be helpful for you to then practice and learn from, and invitations to keep growing because you start asking new questions. And it's not just about learning a checklist or learning a theory. It becomes more about, okay, I'm actually becoming a better person because of this stuff. I'm a better friend. I'm a better partner in my relationship. You'll find that as you start to unpack all of this, that you can become more effective as a human, not just as an employee of whatever role that you're in right now. Just through the course of my career, I've built a lot of relationships of people that I think are just incredible at what they do. And I'm going to be reaching out and calling a number of them to talk about these specific traits and skills and how that works out in their daily life. And not only that, but I'm going to ask them to recommend someone that I call that they know that's the best at that specific trait, to get more specific from people I don't even know. And the goal of all of this is that we together are learning and growing these traits and these skills to deepen our ability to take care of each other, to have this mutual exchange of vulnerability and care, that we are all deepening and becoming stronger in ourselves and with our own skills, that we can provide great care to our guest, which I'm really excited about. There have been so many studies about how important care is for human flourishing. Just to know that somebody else cares about you is a significant part of us doing well as human beings. We're not meant to live and be alone. And you've probably heard or seen the studies of babies that don't do well, don't thrive if they're not getting human touch. And I think about that a lot in this space, that there is a deep psychological need to care for others and also be cared for in return. It's built into us as humans. And there's something about that that really, when I feel safe and when I feel cared for, that I'm then able to be more helpful in the world around me. I'm able to be more joyful in the way in which I go about my day and my life. Being in the hotel industry, you've got that opportunity to both care for others and be cared for in return. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Another example I think of in the workspace is Google did this study on, okay, let's look at all the different teams within our company and pull out the ones that perform the best. And let's look for traits of those groups that perform the best. And the one differentiator that they saw is what they called psychological safety. So they were saying optimal performance from this team is actually coming because these people feel safe enough to then be creative and do the work that they've got in front of them. Maybe they're taking a little more risk because they feel safe. And just think about that in the work that you do. You're giving other people more space to then be a better version of themselves.